Hello survivors, hello family and friends. This is Roy from Bootsy Sweethearts Guide to Life and Other Disappointing Experiences, here with a new kind of video series I'm calling Bootsy's Bits and Bytes. Videos to show you some of the things that I try to do to make my sewing and crafting life easier. Today I have 3 tips on what to do with notions for your sewing machine and for your serger. I hope you enjoy it and find it entertaining as well as informative. Thank you for viewing. Here's a quick tip that may be helpful if you have a couple of machines and you do more sewing. I'm very, very lucky to have a designated sewing room, so I don't have to set up everything each time I want to sew. But I do have to go from my machine that does straight stitch to my machine, my brother that does regular sewing, and my serger. So it's easy for me to reach anything I need. I just carry it around with me. So I have a little cup. This is just a big heavy mug so it doesn't fall over from the United Nations. And I keep my paper cutter in it. I keep my very famous and safety Dritz cutter because I'm used to unsewing. I have 2 seam rippers. I have paper scissors. I have my bone folder, which is also to turn out corners. Love that. I have a small ruler, just in case I have to measure some small increments. Pair of snip scissors for cutting threads and things. I have my stylus kind of thing to help keep my fingers away from the needle. I have a bodkin. I put that in there. It's always useful for something. And I have my tweezers. And this little treasure of a supply box, supply cup goes around with me wherever I go, machine to machine. So I hope you find this tip useful. And we have 2 more coming up. This next bit or byte of information and trick has served me very well. I went to one of the hardware stores, it could have been one of the big chains, and I bought these round magnets. They're pretty strong, as you can see. They're strong. Word to the wise, though, they can't really be put anywhere near anything that's magnetized. So if you have a computerized machine, just double check that magnets are safe. I think some of the newer ones are perfectly safe, but I would not do this unless you check. The machine that I'm using this on was my Juki, which is not computerized at all. It's all analog or whatever they call that, manual. So what I do is I buy a sheet of these Scotch, can I mention the brand? Well, I just did. These double stick pads that are removable. They don't have to be removable. They'll come off very easily. And I put them on the back of the magnet. Oops, just like that. This one's not coming off. They're very sticky. They're really good. So put them on the back of the magnet, and then I place it on the back of the throat plate of the machine. And as you can see here, when I pull out pins, I can stick them right to the magnet and they don't fall all over the place and have a pile on the floor like I usually do. And the other thing I have here is any of the parts that I might need, any tools. So here's my screwdriver for the changing needles. And just in case I have to quickly change bobbins, I can have a backup bobbin right at hand, and I'm not fussing, looking for things, going through drawers. Everything is right there. Again, I'm really cautioning you to be sure that your machine does not need protection against the matter, that the magnets won't destroy some of the memory. This was my second tip, and my third tip for today is coming up next. The next and third hint and trick of Bootsy Bits and Bytes is the use of Velcro hook and loop tape, hook and loop dots, hoop and loop squares. I find them so very useful for so much, but especially keeping my notions right at hand. You know, you're always worried about breaking threads or breaking a needle or threading a serger. Oh my goodness, threading a serger. So what I do is I buy different kinds of hook and loop tape dots, and I'll put them one piece on the back of a notion and the corresponding piece on the machine, and I can stick the other piece right there, anywhere I want, and put my notion right on the machine. In that case, it's a small needle threader. Here's the long one you need most of the time for sergers. Doing my serger, you always need, I have one of those reversible kinds of tweezers, I don't know what they're called, and even the screwdriver, I've managed to put some hook and loop on one side, and all of my notions are just right at hand. Hope you learned something or found something that useful for you in my first attempt at Bootsy's Bits and Bytes, helpful hints and tips. Before I end this video, I wanted to just share with you one of the notions that I find really useful, and it's my razor kind of seam ripper. I think we've all become very expert in ripping out seams. This one is particularly handy, especially if you do any kind of serging. If you look at this, it just slides right along and gets rid of all of the overcast threads. You've got to be very careful, of course, with any of these tools, as they're very sharp. And because of the tiny, tiny tip, it's so easy to get underneath the threads and just pop them right out. It makes it so much easier. I always have trouble with the other kinds of seam rippers. They seem to get stuck all the time. So if you're interested in this one and you'd like to support my channel, if you purchase it through the link in the description, I'll get credit with Amazon and stay in their Amazon Associates program. So thank you very much again for viewing the video. Tips and tricks, bits and bytes. Again, thank you very much. Please share if you think this is valuable to somebody, especially beginning sewers. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and thank you to all the wonderful people who are subscribed. And please give a thumbs up. And in the words of my sewing mentor on television, the late Nancy Zeman, bye for now.